Larry Matthews had been with the company a shorter time than Kennedy, was known for missing deadlines, and had the worst attendance record in the department. Kennedy got angry every time she thought about it. Obviously, his new supervisor had no idea he was known around the water cooler as Lazy Larry. "Is that my jacket?" Sebrina's question pulled Kennedy away from her thoughts. "Yes, it's yours. I forgot to pick mine up from the cleaners, and this one works with my outfit. I hope you don't mind if I borrow it." Sebrina smiled as she poured herself a cup of coffee and joined Kennedy at the table. "Of course I don't mind. I guess Monica and Victoria have left already." "Yes, they were on their way out when I walked into the kitchen 20 minutes ago." Kennedy didn't say anything for a few moments, letting her mind wander as she enjoyed her coffee. Although she and her 3 cousins had gone to different universities, Monica, Sebrina, and Victoria had agreed to move with her to St. Paul after college, and now they were housemates. "I'm really sorry you didn't get that promotion, Kennedy. I know how hard you've worked. Sometimes life isn't fair." Yes, she had worked hard. She tried not to let the thought that Lazy Larry would soon be her boss bother her. "Have you heard from Charles lately, Kennedy?" More anger sliced through her at the mention of her ex-fiancé. "No, and after my last conversation with him, I doubt I will again." "What happened? Did you let the old you come out again? The one with the ability to slice a man in 2 with your tongue?" Kennedy shrugged. So what if she had a stubborn, rebellious streak? Charles had deserved everything she'd given him. Her quick temper was something her father and his wife Tay had warned her about on numerous occasions. She had mellowed somewhat over the years, working at mastering the art of self-discipline and keeping her cool. However, no one had deserved a Kennedy Bennett no-holds-barred tongue-lashing more than Charles. He'd honestly thought she would take him back after what he'd done. Like he could be forgiven for being caught in bed with another woman. Fat chance. It had been hard going the past 5 months, but she'd survived. The daily readings of her horoscope had helped provide her with a better understanding of how to deal with some of the crap she was going through. A protective shield now covered her heart, and she didn't plan on removing it anytime soon. Since then, she'd tried getting back into dating, but discovered she just didn't have time for any man's BS. She had no intention of being hurt again. The situation with Charles did more than upset her. It totally annoyed her. He honestly thought she should forgive and forget and resume plans for their June wedding? Like hell! Out of the 4 cousins, she was the one who never took any crap from anyone. That was the reason so few guys had asked her out in college. She refused to be manipulated or controlled, and a defiant woman wasn't usually the one guys sought out. More than once, Charles had told her that he liked her feistiness, and since they got along really well, she'd honestly believed he'd been the one. She would not have agreed to marry him if she hadn't. "Why are you asking about Charles, Bree?" Kennedy wondered if Charles had told anyone of her threat to cut off his most precious body part if he contacted her again. "Because the 2 of you were to have been married in 6 weeks. I spoke to your dad yesterday. He's worried about you, Kennedy." Her father, Michael Bennett, would always worry about her. It had been just the 2 of them after her mother passed away when Kennedy was 7. She knew she hadn't made things easy for her father, especially when she'd turned 13. She'd started getting into all kinds of trouble and hanging out with the wrong crowd. In hindsight, she guessed she'd truly earned the title of hellion. In fact, her rebellious teenage behavior had been the catalyst for her father's decision to move from St. Paul to Atlanta to be around family. She had thrown all kinds of temper tantrums about the move, but he'd ignored every last one of them. Now she could see that moving to Atlanta had been the best decision for both her and her father. For her, it had allowed her to become closer with numerous cousins she hadn't known before. Now she considered Sebrina, Monica, and Victoria not only her favorite cousins, but also her best friends. For her father,